How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is post episode 8 live stream. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's had a fantastic day so far. Hope everybody had a very holly jolly Christmas yesterday. It was fantastic over here. Let's see, just need to double check a couple last minute settings, make sure everything is going good so far. Let's see, stream health is excellent. Perfect, perfect. There we go. Let's minimize this. Let's see. Dust Bunny, hey, how's it going? Evening, Big Daddy Dave. I'm feeding Pepper, my dog, and then I'll come for a chat for a few. Say hello to Mrs. D for me, please. Absolutely will do that. 100%. Jody! Jody, how's it going, bud? Hope you're having a good day so far. Dust Bunny, also hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see. Evening, Mr. Jody. How are you and the missus this evening? Jody says, how is your day? Doing well. Thank you, sir, for asking. Hey, Dust Bunny, good day. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear everybody's having a good day so far. Let's see. We're just going to wait for a few more minutes, see who else joins us. And if you're out there in the chat today, go ahead and let yourself be known. Unfortunately, YouTube does not give me any sort of roll call or let me know who's out there, so go ahead and say hey in the chat. Let me know that you're there. Let's see. Jody says, when you got to get done on the farm. So we've got a contract that we've got to do today. We've got, basically, we've got several contract work. And let's see. This one is going to be for barley. Let's bring up the map. And actually, forgot about this. Let's go ahead and that. There we go. So this is field 99, so right around the corner of the BGA, so that's not too far away. That's nice. And then there's another one. I believe there was another contract for barley. Yes. Number 4, and that's way... Let's see, where is number 4? Oh, that's not too far. I thought number 4 was up in the corner somewhere. No, that's just a little to the west of here, so not too shabby. Let's see, so... And I think just like the not the live stream, the Let's Play, we were picking up all the straw there. I think we're going to continue to do that because there's a ton of straw that needs to be gotten for the cows. I am just completely floored with how much those cow pens hold. I mean, just the pens and pastures in general, just how much they hold. It's ridiculous the amount, and it makes sense because on this map everything's pretty much cranked up to 11 when it comes to the animals and whatnot. So one of those that it kind of has to be exaggerated food volumes and whatnot, or else it'd just be gone through in a day for I think it's what, the 1,000 sheep capacity that we have room for at the farm. And I think it's it might be 2,000 sheep and 1,000 cows, and regardless, it's ridiculous numbers that we're talking here. Ooh, Westbridge Hills. Nice. Love that map. Is that the one by Zero Ito, or is that the one by, is it Puma 145, I think was the other one? It's, or no, Vanquish. Was it Vanquish? Now my mind's going blank. And we're just going to give it like one more minute to see if anybody else joins us. I want to, a couple of things I want to chat about today. A couple of things that came across my path here and just want to kind of air it out. So yeah, we'll just give it, one more minute I think will be good. Let's see. Oh, I need to check one last thing. Yeah, see, it keeps switching that for some reason. There we go. Make sure it's on live chat, not top chat. Perfect. Oh, it is the one by 080? Nice. I love 080's maps. It's just... They take their maps and just, like I said earlier, just cranks it up to 11. They just put all the little bits and bobs in there, as Mr. Seeley P will say, to like just make it something that's just that much deeper of an experience. And I absolutely love that. I absolutely love how they just take all those little fine details and just whittle them in there somehow. Like I was doing a tour, and I think it was on the Green Valley, and I was doing this overhead view, and you would have never noticed on the Green Valley, you would never notice this detail. But on top of one of the silo stacks, there's a spinning fan in the top of the stack. No real reason for it to be there other than detail. And I noticed that, and it was like, wow, you would never notice it was there if you were just at ground level, because this, we're talking several stories high kind of thing. And the only way you're going to see it, like on a console player, because we don't have the flight mode and all that stuff, only way you're going to see it is if you actually zoom all the way out in the build menu. So when I saw that, it's like, that's when I knew right then and there I loved not only that map, but just Zero Ito and the maps that they make is just next level stuff. So let me go ahead and get started here. So like I said, I hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas. Hope Santa Claus treated everybody, greatly this year. It was a really great Christmas over here. This is the second year that we've had Christmas with my daughter, and it's just a whole new level when you have kids and you're able to kind of share that with them. It's great to get gifts and whatnot and be able to enjoy the things that you give to people and whatnot, but it's a whole nother level when you get to actually sit there and watch your kid like when you get to watch your kid, like, just she's just barely starting to understand what, not what Christmas is, but what presents are. And she was starting to just kind of understand that, hey, there's this thing in front of me and I get to tear it open and I get to do things. So she was just, it was really kind of funny to just sit there and kind of watch her, like, kind of process it and really kind of get her bearings about what to do. And it was just fantastic. But we ended up really kind of went overboard on her this year. We got her this little like a little 5-foot round trampoline, because we take her to this little jump park that's full of trampolines and the whole 9 yards, and she absolutely loves. She just goes running around. And it's great because they have little toddler time to where you can take your kids. The parents get the jump for free with their toddler, and it's like $10 to take your kid there. And they're just, bouncing around. Wait a minute. I went the wrong way. Darn it. I was supposed to go in by the biogas plant, wasn't I? Well, we're just going to cut through the field. Ever since Cavalier Roy made the update to this map, you can't just cut through the fields anymore, or the hedges. You have to go around. And whatnot, and but yeah, anyways, so we go to this jump park, and she has an absolute ball. So we ended up getting her this little trampoline. It's only like maybe, I don't know, a foot off the ground. Like, it's not like really high up and something that we have to worry about, kind of thing. It's just one of those, and it's fully enclosed and netted off to where she's not going to just go jumping out of it. And it's got a little zipper in it to where, she's going to stay in the jump house. So it just seemed really nice. Got her all sorts of stuff, and my father, he ended up going on a whole new level. He ended up buying her this remote control car. Not a remote control car, but it's like a Power Wheels, but it comes with like a remote because she's too young to understand what to do just now. So you basically strap them in and you take them for a ride, kind of thing. And the first day we got it, unfortunately it was raining, so we really couldn't do much with her. How can I guess we can go this way. Really didn't have a lot of an opportunity to kind of, let her tear around in it, but we ended up in the late afternoon. It started to dry up because it was raining for a good chunk of the morning, good chunk of the day actually. But in the afternoon, it kind of dried up a bit. So we, took her out, let her try it out, and she just had an absolute ball with this thing. The smiles on her face, she was just floored with it. But But for myself, I ended up getting, I was actually really excited. My wife ended up getting me a really nice, it's a 22 quart pressure canner. And I've been telling her for a long time now that I really want to do my best to get more self-sufficient. Basically, the things that I learned from the pandemic were that you need to kind of be less reliable on the structures that be and more reliable on yourself as an individual to be able to do things. So we've been wanting to start to, make our own vegetable gardens, and we wanted to be able to can things for long-term preserving and things like that. And she got me this really nice 22 quart pressure canner, and I ended up just trying it out earlier today, and I made homemade pickles, and we ended up pressure canning them and whatnot. And so far, they're still sitting on the counter cooling, and we'll see how they kind of go from there. But last I checked, they sealed up. They actually, like, the mason jar dimpled down and whatnot when it was cooling down. So, here's hoping that it works out and stays pressurized and whatnot. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I'm really excited because I have very vivid memories of my mother. She used to do things like canning and long-term preserving and whatnot. So it was one of those. It kind of lost me for a little while. But when I started doing it this afternoon, it just kind of brought all those cool little memories back. Watching my mom in the kitchen, and she's sitting there making jams and jellies, and we would used to go to the strawberry farm that was several times, about an hour away when I was growing up, and we would pick just bushels and bushels and baskets full of strawberries, and she would sit there and wash them, prep them, cook them down, and make jams and jellies. And she would put them in the mason jars, and she would bathe can them, and just all this stuff. And it was just brought back a lot of fond memories. And like I said, today I ended up doing pickles because I'm kind of a fan. I actually follow a YouTuber. His name's Josh Weissman, and he's a cook who does a lot of, I mean, to a certain extent, kind of obnoxious in the presentation, but the content is solid. The recipes are very solid, and I like it. I like the recipes that he does. But he does a series called But Cheaper, and in the series, he basically takes all these like fast food restaurants, like McDonald's, Burger King, and whatnot, and he takes a menu item and says, I can do this better than what they do. Which, I mean, should be obvious. I mean, basically anything that you do at home versus what you get at fast food is going to be infinitely better, with fresh ingredients and whatnot. But a while ago, he did a recipe for Chick-fil-A and their chicken sandwich, and I love Chick-fil-A. I absolutely love their sandwiches. Really good stuff. But I ended up doing the chicken sandwich that he did on his channel, and wow, the pickles that go along with the sandwich, I mean, honestly, that's what makes it. The chicken was good, was really good. The sandwich by itself was good, but the pickles are just these flavor bombs, and when you bite into them, it just makes the entire sandwich. And it's one of those, there's so much flavor packed into those pickles that it's just makes your mouth water the moment you bite into them. It's wild. But I mean, it's got things like salt, sugar, some MSG, and then you got like fresh sprigs of dill and garlic, and oh, it's so good. But I ended up remaking it for today because I like to have them as a snack kind of thing, because they're very low calorie snack. They're not the greatest for you because they're packed with salt and all that stuff, but I mean, it's better than having something like potato chips or something like that. So yeah, no, I was really excited about that. I was really excited to get kind of those memories kind of rushing back to me and whatnot. Those are some of the best gifts, is when you have that kind of lingering memory, that just kind of rockets back up to the front of your head, especially when it's a really good and fond memory. But let me catch up to the chat here and see what everyone's saying. So, Jody says, that's what makes a good map, 100%. So going back to what we were saying about Zero Edo, those small details, 100% is what makes a good map. If you can sit there and just, that deep level of immersion that can come along with playing this game, and a map is just fantastic. And the deeper the detail, the more, the more detailed, the deeper the immersion can happen, and you can really kind of get lost in what it is that you're doing, and almost as if you're like doing it yourself. Especially if you're driving around in like first-person view and stuff like that, you can really kind of let yourself get lost in the world that, this game creates. So yeah, 100%. What did I get for Christmas? Well, we started talking about it. The pressure canner. Ended up getting some more home protection. We'll leave it at that. I don't know if I want to go into too much. Well, you know what? This is fine. Nothing related to the gift and why we got it, but my wife had an incident here recently where, oh, that's right, I gotta keep making my way around. I forgot I'm not, oops, nope, didn't mean to do that. My wife was out and about with our daughter earlier this week, and something happened to where somebody was trying to merge into traffic in front of her, and she was in a position where it couldn't happen, kind of thing. She couldn't back off of the person in front of her because there were people behind her. It was just one of those circumstances where it just wasn't going to happen. And when somebody is asking to merge, that's exactly what they're doing, is they're asking to merge. You have no obligation to adjust your rate of flow or anything like that. It's courteous if you can, but you're not under any obligation to do so. They're under the obligation to be able to merge and to do it safely, kind of thing. Well, they got really upset because my wife either didn't back off or didn't allow them in to the space in front of them. Well, they ended up having to do some hard maneuvers and got in behind my wife. Well, they ended up starting to follow her home, and she called me up in a panic and, said, hey, there was some kind of road rage incident going on. There's somebody following me, can you come outside, kind of thing. And I don't take that stuff lightly, whatsoever. If you are going to, number one, if you're going to do that to my wife, you better be ready for a fight. I don't take that kindly at all. But we're talking, it was an older man who did this, somebody who's old enough to know better, but shame on them for picking on a female. Not only that, but a female with a baby in the back. And it's not like you can't see that there's a car seat in the back of the car, kind of thing, because he ended up getting right beside her, and he's gesturing to her and just being a royal jerk. And she's sitting there on the phone talking to me, and she's like, hey, I'm really scared, this guy's really on me, he's right on top of me, kind of thing. And I don't know what to do. It's like, well, just keep driving safely, just don't acknowledge them, just let them do what they're going to do, kind of thing. And just start heading home, and I'll deal with it from there. Well, she starts heading home, and by the time she makes like the third or fourth turn, they finally turn off and go about their way. But it was very obvious that they were following her. And like I said, this particular gift kind of didn't coincide, and it wasn't as a direct result or anything like that of this incident, but one of those around here we take defense very serious, kind of thing. in the kind of nutty world that we live in right now, you kind of have to, you know. And thankfully, I'm privileged enough to live in a state where um, that kind of stuff is okay and um, is still looked upon as a good thing. So so yeah, what else did I get? Well, I mean, technically the TV that I got after the last one, broke in epic fashion. That was also part of my Christmas. Um, oh, that's something else that we got. Um, we ended up getting a really killer uh, hockey game that we're gonna go to. So my wife and I, we basically got a little coupon from my father. That's one free night of babysitting kind of thing, and it went along with him getting us tickets to a game. So she ended up getting all the real cool kind of like earrings and stuff for the Detroit Red Wings and whatnot. She also got um, like a purse and a shirt that she really wanted with the kind of, they're not tassels, they're the little circles that you can flip up and down and they change colors kind of thing. Um, they're like sewn onto the shirt, but sewn into the Detroit Red Wings emblem. So she was really kind of happy about that. So it was a real good Christmas. How about you, Jody? Did you get anything special this year? Let's see. Doing some fast farming. Nice. Love it. My dad grows a vegetable garden every year. Oh, and cans. Nice. You see, that's what I'm talking about. It's one of those things that, like I said, since 2020 and seeing just how nutty things got, it's one of those where it's almost a requirement. Like you should. I'm not going to say that far, but you don't know. Like, especially I live here in Florida, and every single year there's hurricanes. Every single year. And inevitably, if one gets too close or whatnot, everybody makes a run for gasoline, or everybody makes a run for, well, I mean, there's toilet paper runs and all that stuff, or there's, food, runs, and just all sorts of stuff. So it'd be really good to be able to just, not have to necessarily worry about that kind of stuff. Now, I mean, it's a worry. It's not like we're going to be able to grow so much food and can so much that we're going to be, stocked up for a year kind of thing. But, I mean, something that can last us for a few weeks, if something happens, it'd be nice to have good, fresh food that, we process, that we, did, the majority of the work on. And then we know exactly what's in our food. It's not going to be any kind of guessing game or, hoping that, there's nothing in it that we don't want in it. It's just, it's a much better way. And yeah, it's going to take a lot more work and it's going to take, effort and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's going to be so worth it, if, something like this ever happens again. And who knows? I mean, something like it could happen, something, who knows? Who knows? It's just always good to be prepared. And it's always better to be over-prepared and not need the things than under-prepared and all of a sudden you need something. Alright, so let's park this over here. And what I'm going to do now is go back to my farm and grab the trailer and the forage pickup. And once I hook up to this, then I'll continue to read. Ooh, I have that little... Oh, no, wait, I do want that. I do want that. I forgot I had that little tongue hitch on the back of my tractor, and I had it for a reason. This trailer is nice. It has a good solid capacity of 70,000 liters, but it has no braking mechanism. So if you get going on it, it's really hard. Whoops. It's really hard to stop when it's fully weighted. So I find that if you raise up the front end of the trailer a bit, it distributes the weight a little bit differently, and it's not that it helps it to stop necessarily. It just doesn't make it as unruly when driving down the road. Um, if it's fully flat where all three or six wheels are on the ground, then it gets really tough and it wants to wiggle around and not be all that well controlled. But yeah, what else? What else did we end up doing? Um, trying to think. Hmm. But yeah, it's actually funny. I was thinking about this the other day, going back to the Christmas gifts that we were talking about. Um, it's really funny in how the things that make you excited, um, you know, when you're getting gifts, the things that make you excited, when you're a kid versus when you're an adult. And when I was a kid, oh, the latest and greatest toys and all that stuff. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a big thing when I was a little kid. Power Rangers and things like that. Just being a little boy growing up, in the 80s and 90s, those were the hit things way back when. Well, now I'm excited over pressure cookers, and my wife, um, she really wanted a new vacuum, but specifically a one of those stick vacuums, um, because we got like one of those big canister vacuums, um, but she doesn't necessarily like it because she doesn't want to have to go out and get like the broom and stuff or break out the big vacuum cleaner to be able to clean up a small mess kind of thing. So she wanted one of those stick vacuums so we can very easily kind of go out and uh, pick up a dirt pile in the kitchen or something like that. Just something real quick and easy and painless kind of thing. Oh, and let me catch up with the chat real quick. So she was really excited. It just got me thinking. It's like it's funny on those things that really kind of make a difference as to what makes us excited as we get older. It's pretty funny. Like tools and stuff like that. Or things that I get really excited about now that I'm older, and it's just funny to think of. Um, let's see. Jody says that's a really scary situation to be in there. A lot of rude people out there now. 100%. Just it was scary. Like when she called me and she's saying, "Hey, I got somebody following me. I don't know what to do." I'm like, "Okay, well, come home." And I was out there. I was wasn't by myself kind of thing because you don't know what people are going to do. You don't know what they're capable of doing kind of thing. And if they're, especially if you got somebody who's, going around going to pick on like a woman, with her child in the car, then what kind of things are they willing to do beyond that kind of thing? And to me, that's the sign of a true coward right there. And if this person is listening right now and you know exactly who you are a coward. I'm calling you out right now. You are a pitiful man. Pitiful. Because if you're going to go out there and chase down a woman with a baby in her car, a toddler in her car, you are a weak, pathetic man. Period. Full sentence stop. And it's one of those where shame on you, number one, for letting yourself become so overly emotional over something so incredibly stupid, so incredibly like inconsequential. Like you were slightly inconvenienced from being able to merge from one lane to another. How dare you act like that? To somebody who is, who is physically weaker than you, and that's the only reason that you sit there and do the things that you did, is because you know that you are physically imposing on that individual. How dare you? And yeah, I was, needless to say, when she called me, I was really fired up. And obviously, as it sounds, I still am. I'm still really fired up. You know, because that's my wife. That's my wife. That's my child. And you're gonna sit there and, you know, act like a child throwing a tantrum because you couldn't merge exactly where you wanted to, when you wanted to, kind of thing. No, no. And it's one of those scenarios where I guarantee that had he followed her all the way to the house and would have seen me there, the moment that he would have seen me, I guarantee he would have ran like a little coward. Because that's often the way that these kind of people operate, is that they don't, they will sit there and act as a predator, you know, with somebody that they think is physically weaker than them. But the moment that they have any sort of pushback, they curl up and they'll sit there and just, the whole Chihuahua syndrome, will sit there and bark, 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 yip, 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 and no bite kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm sorry that if I'm kind of got a little fired back up about that, because for obvious reasons, it upsets me, for very obvious reasons. But anyways, um, yeah, just mm, 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 mm. Let's see, let's. Ooh, you know what? Something just dawned on me. I can take the straw and put it into the biogas plant. Hmm. Because I've got a good amount there at the. Oh, I can make electricity and methane. Maybe, maybe, and it'd be a lot shorter of a trip. Let's see. Let me catch back up with the with the chat. So, Jody says I would do the same thing to protect my. Yes, yes, 100%. And it's just like I said, it's one of those where, and this goes for anybody. This isn't just a man or woman thing. This isn't just it's a sign of a weak, timid individual who sits there and picks on the weak, picks on somebody that they think is weaker than them. You know, for the simple fact is they think that they're stronger than or tougher than. And me personally, I've said this many times, I have zero tolerance for that kind of behavior from anybody, kind of thing. I have zero patience for it, because at the end of the day, you know, I don't appreciate bullies. And thankfully I'm a person who is big enough to be able to, when called upon, be able to stand up for those who need it, kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not a small man. Yeah, I'm just shy of 6'3" and about, you know, 300 pounds. You know, I'm a big boy. You know, and I'm not afraid to step up for somebody who needs it, kind of thing. And like I said, I have very little patience or tolerance for people who sit there and try to act tough. Like I said, most oftentimes they're just the little Chihuahua syndrome. They'll sit there and bark, 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 and once you get them into once you get them into, you know, a situation where, okay, now their bark has to mean something, their bite isn't worth the effort, kind of thing. Let's see. Catch back up to what is being said, and then I'll move this over out of the way. Actually, let's go ahead and empty. Where am I taking this? Oh, looks like the grain mill, maybe? Oh, come on. Come on. Shift gears, you got this. You can do it. There we go. Now we're talking. Let's see. I got a brand new PC for Christmas. My wife. Oh, that's awesome. Nice. Uh, I used to love to play with Legos when I was. Yes, Legos were the bomb back in the day. I used to love playing with Legos. As a matter of fact, way back when, I vividly remember playing with like the Star Wars kits and whatnot, because I used to be really big into Star Wars, back when I was younger, and my parents got me like the whole like Star Wars like X-wing fighters and all that stuff. Oh, it was so much fun. I really should go and empty this out before I go back. Let's see. Jody says, "Tell your wife I hope she's doing okay. She's got a good man to protect her." Yeah, and she's doing just fine. After that person, peeled out and whatnot, she calmed right down, kind of thing. But it's one of those, and that's the other thing is, she's pregnant too. So it's one of those like, you got a toddler in the back and she's pregnant, kind of thing. So it's not like she can sit there and get up in their face and yell and scream and get all worked up over things. It's one of those, she's already had a quote unquote, oh hey, there's a car, a scare, in regards to the pregnancy, and it's just one of those that we're just kind of trying to take it as easy and as calmly as possible, kind of thing. She was put on to like a week's worth of, or almost 2 weeks worth of bed rest, when this all happened, and it was just one of those that don't need somebody else's stupidity, to go as far as sending her into a quote unquote a tizzy, and her potentially or having the baby be hurt as her being all worked up and whatnot. It's you don't know what your actions are going to do to somebody, kind of thing. You don't know, just by sitting there and getting somebody all worked up, is that going to be enough? Whoa, yikes. Is that going to be enough to trigger a heart attack if you're yelling and hollering at, like, let's say an individual and they have a weak heart, and you don't know this, you don't know the person that you're sitting there getting all worked up, and then all of a sudden they who knows. It's just, there's so many unknowns out there. That's why I always try and say, just calm down. I mean, oftentimes people get worked up over things that honestly have such little bearing over the day-to-day kind of things. Like, they make mountains out of molehills, kind of thing, and it's really sad, and oftentimes, especially in like this situation, very, very incredibly pathetic. Where am I taking this to? I meant to check that. Grain mill to my left. Oh, come on, tractor. I know you're struggling. You're feeling it. I'm feeling it too. There we go. Let's see. Dust Bunny says, there are several various types of vehicle cameras. The one I like, called the Wolfbox 12 mirror dash cam. You may have to be able to turn him into the local police department. So we actually have cameras in every single one of our vehicles. That has actually become a standard in every single vehicle that we own, and I highly recommend every single person out there to have a dash cam. There was no particular incident. What honestly started me really kind of down that hole of getting a dash camera was just watching YouTube and seeing just all the incidences that were caught on film with a dash cam. And thankfully, it did pay off, in my regards. But it wasn't until recently where my father, I was sitting there telling my dad, hey, you should really get a dash cam. You never know when, it's going to save your butt, kind of thing. And he used to be a licensed contractor, so he would be on the road every single day going to various different places. Well, down here in Florida, we have like dedicated turn lanes. What a lot of places have these. Dedicated turn lanes is not something new, but what we have that a lot of places don't, or at least places that I frequently went or lived in, was like double lane turn lanes and things like that. And if you're not paying attention, in these double lane turn lanes, there could be people that all of a sudden, that are in the far left lane, all of a sudden they're in your lane and whatnot. And that's what happened to my father. Is he ended up making a left, and he was in the right turn lane, and there was somebody in the left turn lane. So to kind of play this all out, the person in the far left turn lane is supposed to end up in the far left lane when they merge into the direction of travel that they're going. And the person in the right left turn lane is supposed to be in the middle of that new direction of travel. Well, so my father ends up in the middle, and this person who's not paying any attention, who's in the left lane, ends up merging halfway into the turn and clips my father. And he's saying that my dad hit him. My dad says, he hit me. And because it's, one person's word against the other, my father couldn't do anything about it. He basically, he didn't end up making a claim, and thankfully the other guy didn't make a claim here, because my dad was driving a big work van at the time, so it's not like, a little car is going to do all that much damage or anything like that. But yeah, dash cameras are just, a real good thing. Unfortunately, at no point did this person, or at least as far as I'm aware, and I haven't checked the camera, at no point did this person get in front of my wife. So, and that's the only camera angle we have, is they're right in front. So it wouldn't like actually capture or show anything as far as I'm aware. But no, that is a good point. That is something that, should be considered doing, is, because I'm fairly certain there's like intimidation laws and stuff like that. It might vary from state to state. But it wouldn't surprise me if Florida did have some kind of law like that, or because I don't think there was any necessarily like reckless driving or anything per se. Like I said, it was more just the intimidation and him, riding beside, and but who knows? I'm not that deeply familiar, but it might be worth looking into, because certainly my wife is not the first person that this person has, done this to. So yeah, it might not be a bad idea, Dust Bunny. I'll definitely, actually, I'm going to look into that. I'm definitely going to look into that, because that's something worth thinking about. Jody says, he's most definitely a coward to do that to a pregnant woman with a young kid in the car. Yes, 100%. Dust Bunny says, she may not be able to call 911 and have him stopped while he was wrestling. Yes, and it's one of those that she was just kind of so in the moment kind of thing, that her first reaction was to call me, kind of thing. And like I said, those kind of people, most often times, all it takes is a good stern talking to. A good example. For a long time, my sister-in-law was living with us, and she was, I don't know, maybe late teens, early 20s when this happened, but she ended up accidentally running a stop sign. She had just moved in with us, and she was just deeply, deeply unfamiliar with the road network around here and just the way things were. And she ended up running a stop sign, and she accidentally cut somebody off, and she was apologetic. She waved her hands, sorry. This person was having none of it. And she calls up and says, this person's following me, they're angry, all this stuff. And I ended up having to go out into the front yard, because they followed her all the way back to my house. And I have, again, a zero tolerance for somebody doing that kind of stuff, to sit there and be intimidating. And this person was another woman. So basically I told her, hey, you need to leave. I don't care what happened. It gives you no right to sit here and to follow and to intimidate and do all that kind of nonsense. Sorry for your luck, but nobody was hurt, nobody got into a crash. You sitting here and following people home is unacceptable and unexcusable. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because here's the thing, is you don't know what the other person is thinking. Now, this is from the person who's being followed's point of view. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know how timid they are. You don't know if they're armed. You don't know anything about what you're getting into. And all you may be thinking is, "Oh, well, I'm angry, so I'm going to do X," or "I'm angry, so I'm going to let them know how angry I am." You don't know how they're going to react based on your reaction, kind of thing. So you sitting there and getting into that situation, you don't know if you're going to get hurt by, you might like lash out at the wrong person, kind of thing. So it's one of those, just road rage, bad idea, full sentence stop. Don't do it. Do not do it. It's just stupid and wrong. Let's see. Just when he says he's a bully and I do not tolerate bullies, 100%. It's never too good to be a bully somebody. That's the wrong thing to do, 100%. I'm glad everyone is safe. Yes. Jody, I love building stuff out of, yes. Building Legos, like I said, it used to be one of my biggest hobbies, back in the days. That's probably why it translated so well into me, being good with my hands and building stuff on my own and stuff like that, doing odds and ends with like furniture and whatnot. So it probably translated very well. Let's see, let's go over here. Oh, trailer. Oh dear, I'm sliding. Don't point that hose at me. There we go. So I'm shocked in how, I don't know, it just feels like this tractor is so underpowered. And I think this is the same tractor as I have. But you know what? It is the same tractor, but this one is a manual transmission. Yeah, this is the N. So this is the same tractor that I have. It's just the manual as opposed to the CVT. So maybe that's what it is. It just doesn't seem like it's shifting properly. I don't know. Let's see. Dust Bunny says, road rage is dangerous, 100%. This particular camera, the Wolfbox 12, actually films in rear view mirror, so it would have captured the vehicle while it was. Oh, see, yeah, that's something that I definitely have to do. Mr. Sealy P has a huge collection of Legos. Yeah, his daughter used to work for the Lego company there in London, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he mentioned that quite a few times, and he used to get used to be able to use her discount and all that stuff. Yeah, that's definitely cool. Definitely cool. Oh, you know what? I don't think I turned on the process for the straw. Let's do that. Boop. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so 5 electricity and 800 liters of methane. That's actually... Wait a minute. Is that a better ratio than... I think that is a better ratio for methane. This is almost a 10 to 8 ratio. And this is a... I think that is a better ratio. Like, it's going to process a lot slower, but you're getting more methane per product that you're putting in. I need to remember that. Let's see. I started reading this one. Mr. Sealy P has a huge collection of Legos built that he had made. If you watch either of his Man Cave live stream replays, you can see which ones he has built. Yes. I started to watch one of them, but I didn't make it all the way through. But I did see a couple of the ones that he had built, and they're really nice. Like he definitely has some good taste in the Legos. Let's see, and I know he built the Death Star ship. I think it was, yep, from Star Wars. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. I think it is the Death Star. And then Jody says, wife said, hey, Jody's wife, how you doing tonight? Hope you're having a fantastic evening so far. We're just sitting here ranting and raving on bullies and, people being cowards. Oh my goodness. But like I said, thankfully everything turned out fine, but it's just one of those, definitely made my wife more resolved to become more knowledgeable in the ways of how she can defend herself, especially, if she's ever, without me around, she needs that kind of force multiplier, as I like to call it. So one of those that, as a matter of fact, we're going out this weekend to keep getting her familiarized and keep getting her, as comfortable as possible with those force multipliers, kind of thing. Because at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, she, if she's ever out with our daughter or whatnot, if she ever goes to the city and needs to be able to defend herself, then that's that's what she needs. She needs to be able to stay safe and keep herself safe. I was actually reading something the other day, and it really broke my heart. After reading it, it just really kind of blew my mind that this is the state of where things are nowadays. This happened out in Texas, and basically what had happened is that there was a woman who lived in an apartment all by herself, with her kids, and it was a hotbed. This particular apartment was a hotbed for thievery. She had been broken into multiple times, and so much, in fact, that at 1 o'clock in the morning, she ended up getting robbed, or getting broken into. Just so happened that she wasn't home. Her and her family wasn't home. And then later on that morning, shortly after the cops had left, she'd gotten broken into again. This time she had a force multiplier, and she ended up using it. And she ended up, her aim was true, and the person is no longer on this plane of existence. And everything was deemed good. Like, no law enforcement. She wasn't in trouble or anything like this. And the worst part about it is that this person was breaking into her daughter's room, her 8-year-old daughter's room, when it all happened, kind of thing. So she was defending herself and defending her daughter. It was just her and her kids in the house when this happened, or in the apartment. Now everything's all said and done. She says she feels terrible about it because the person who was breaking in, I guess, was a really young man. I think they said it was like 14, 15 years old or something like that. She feels terrible that she had to do it, kind of thing. But she's defending her family, kind of thing. And the person's breaking into her daughter's room, kind of thing. Well, now she's in this position where she is getting evicted from her apartment because of this incident. And like I said, this is in Texas, one of the pinnacle states for these kind of rights, kind of thing, that we in America get to enjoy, kind of thing. And it was just really made me sad, because you can listen to the interviews with this woman, and you can tell she's just absolutely devastated that she had to do this. But it was one of those, you don't know what this person's intent is. You don't, and she didn't know that it was a 14, 15-year-old boy who was breaking into her home. She just knew that somebody was breaking into her kid's room, kind of thing. And like I said, this was something that has happened multiple times, and it happened earlier that day, kind of thing. So it's just a real like tragic story all the way around. Um, I felt, I feel for this person. Now she's having to find a whole new place to live, and you know, dealing with the grief surrounding everything, and just it's a tough story, tough all the way around. But let's see. Jody says my wife is playing House Flipper 2 on P. Oh, nice. That sounds like a fun game. That's not I've not heard of it, but I mean I can understand the premise. It sounds cool. How's your wife's pregnancy going? Mine is going pretty good so far. Nice. Going great. Like I said, we had the scare a while back, but doctor said everything's fine. There was no strong, healthy heartbeat, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, things are going really, really good so far. We're just kind of letting time roll, and doing everything that we can. Crossing all of our T's, dotting all of our I's. So we're just hanging in there so far. But really glad to hear that things are going well for you as well. Um, yeah, because you're just a few weeks ahead of us when it comes to the timetables. Nope, I gotta come and get the. Oh, hey, there's a can. So I gotta take this down, sell this off. Let's see. Meant to check this earlier. So yeah, I could start bringing some more straw down to the farm. That was a good amount of straw to get processing here, and that'll generate quite a bit of money with the methane. Because I tell you what, that methane, getting this plant and firing up with methane, has been such a boon, I think would be the proper word. Such a good shot in the arm for the farm. It has generated a lot of money for us so far, and is continuing to generate lots of money. So I'm pretty happy with it so far. But on to a new topic, something else I wanted to talk about. I ended up watching a video earlier this week. I think it was the day before Christmas, so Christmas Eve. And it was something that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I'll kind of lay out the premise. Basically, it was a TikTok of this woman who was sitting there telling a story for the camera, but I hope it was a lie. When everything's said and done, I hope she was lying. But this is a story she was telling. Essentially what had happened is she'd gone to Starbucks, and she had gotten in line, and she was sitting there at the window to make her order, and all of a sudden her car, quote unquote, broke down. Wink wink, nudge nudge kind of thing. And she's like, oh, I felt terrible. Obviously she was sitting there just kind of milking it for the camera. I felt terrible, nudge nudge, wink wink. I felt so embarrassed, nudge nudge, wink wink. Because my car, it was so embarrassing. It was working just fine earlier, and then all of a sudden it wasn't, nudge nudge, wink wink. And she's just sitting there just being so incredibly obnoxious, so incredibly just obnoxious. That's the perfect word for it. It's just, she was obnoxious. And she's sitting there, it's like, oh well, I felt terrible because all those employees, they got paid for an hour's worth of work. Because she claimed that she sat there for over an hour while she waited for the tow truck to come and jump her car and to get it working again. And wouldn't you know, the moment the tow truck shows up, it fires up like it was nothing wrong. Nudge nudge, wink wink. and she's sitting there and she's just like so proud of herself because she's this big old hero in her mind, sitting there. I got these employees an hour of free pay and all this stuff, and it's blatantly obvious that she has never worked in this sector of you know of industry ever in her life. And if she has, then she would have known that more than likely she actually did the exact opposite. So in her mind, she thinks that she got these Starbucks employees an hour's worth of free pay, is essentially what she thinks she had worked out in her mind. And as somebody who's worked in this industry, I can tell you for a fact that's not what happened. It's not what happened whatsoever. So one of two scenarios played out at this particular, if this story has happened and then she's being truthful, whatnot, and she's not just on the internet looking for clout. This is what actually would have happened. So if a store like this, and this is doesn't matter if it's Starbucks or McDonald's or any business out there who has employees in this capacity, what they would have done is they would have, one, all the customers that were behind her that's now being held up and can't go into the line are just going to go into the store. It's not like they're just going to sit there for an hour, because not everybody has the convenience of being able to waste an hour of their day like she did. Some people are going off to work. Some people are doing things with their lives. Obviously she wasn't. Anyways, what would have happened at this particular location is let's say if none of the people who are trapped in the drive-thru now, if none of them went inside, well, what the on-shift manager is going to do, because now all of a sudden their metrics for their revenue per hour is being thrown off, they're going to start telling people to go home. They're going to start telling their employees, hey, we don't have the business that we were expecting for this point in time. We're not making the amount of capital that we wish to make for this time of the day. You go home, you go home, you go home, until the amount of money that's being brought in at that point in time is reflected for the amount of employees that they have in the store. That's what would have happened. That's number one. But let's just say that she got these employees that 1 hour freebie kind of thing. Let's just say that that's actually how it would have worked out. It didn't. It wouldn't. But let's say it did. Well, then what's going to happen is that at the end of the week, and the management is seeing that their metrics are being thrown way off, because what happens is that you often have basically a cost per hour kind of analysis that most of these businesses do, and you want to stay within X amount of dollars being spent per hour as opposed to the amount of income that's coming in for the business kind of thing. And what ends up happening is that if you start going under that metrics, you start letting people go home, so that way it brings your number back up. And if your number is too high, well, that's great. And unless you're not able to keep up with the demand, well, then you might call somebody in and say, hey, we need extra people here on the job kind of thing to be able to cope with the amount of business that we're getting kind of thing. Well, what's going to end up happening is, let's say those people did get paid for the hour that they were there. Well, what's going to happen is that towards the end of the week, the management's going to see that, oh, I should just go ahead and throw this into the chicken coop. Management's going to be like, okay, well, we don't need, we're going to try and peel off people as much as possible in order to, hey. We're going to peel off people as much as possible to be able to get the numbers into the metrics that we want, kind of thing. So I guarantee you, I can tell you from experience, she didn't help anybody. If anything, she likely lost people money, because here's why. Why? Oh, I'm pouring it. I'm trying to get it to the wrong spot. There we go. She probably lost people money, and here's why. Starbucks allows people to tip. And guess what? If even one person who was willing to stick around and go through the inside of the building rather than the drive-through decided, I was going to tip, but now I'm not going to get my coffee because, I'm not going to go inside. I'm not going to be bothered. Well, then those people lost out on the tip. They lost out on it. And this person, this smug little person, is like, oh, well, I got these people free money. No, you didn't. You actually probably cost them money. And probably cost them a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, the business is going to win. You and your petty little, jab at this business, you're not there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you're not seeing what's happening behind the scenes. You're there for 1 hour of the day, and you're expecting that 1 hour to be this great savior kind of thing. You did nothing. You did absolutely nothing. If anything, you made things exponentially worse for these people. And then let's throw in the human dynamic on all this. Let's throw in everything that probably likely happened. Now you got people who don't have their coffee, or they're going to have to be inconvenienced and go inside. And now they're angry that they have to go inside. Because they might be on a time crunch, they might be all this stuff. Well, now people are moody, going into, the store, and now the people who are inside the store are dealing with the people who are now angry that they're inside the store. That's more than likely what happened. You did nobody any favors whatsoever by doing this little stunt. All you did was probably ruin several people's day and ruined several people's ability to have made money for that day. That's most likely scenario what happened. And like I worked in these kind of industries for years. And this is the stuff that happens. The business is going to win, and the business is going to do what the business needs to do in order to have healthy margins. End of story. End of story. That's literally it. They're not just going to give money away. So, like I said, when I saw that one, it bothered me. It bothered me so bad because you could tell that, one, this person has probably and likely never, not one day, worked in this kind of a field. And that they are so unbelievably privileged that they can take an hour out of their day just to try and stick it to the man kind of thing, to stick it to this business. And in reality, probably did nothing but make things exponentially worse for everybody involved. But she gets to go home and feel like she accomplished something, that she, is this big savior to people, when in reality, she couldn't be anything further from the truth, and she's just this small, petty little person. And again, should be ashamed of herself. I took great exception to this because this, like I said, this is exactly what would have happened to me when I worked in these industries. Yeah, I worked in many different, never in the Starbucks or anything like that, and never like in coffee barista kind of capacity. But I worked for bigger companies, smaller companies, all in fast food and in all this restaurants and stuff like that. And that's how it would have worked in reality. In reality, not in this fictitious world where time stops because you think so. Because you're not there to deal with the consequences consequences and the ramifications of your action. Just so you can get this, virtue signaling nonsense. Stop it. Just stop it. Or even better, get a job. Get a job. Do something productive with your life. Because that is ridiculous. All right, let's hook up to the header and go from there. And I'll take a look at the chat in just 1 second, see what everybody's saying so far. There we go. Let's see. Jody says, I got a doctor's appointment on Thursday for a checkup. Nice. Nice. Yeah, let us know how that goes, because, like I said, we're all really rooting for you, and I'm just so happy that things are going good for you so far. Like I said, it's really, really happy for you, bud. Really happy. Hey, Cavalier Roy, how's it going? Here in the UK, her car would have been pushed. Her car would have been pushed out into a parking space, or someone would have pulled up and helped jumpstart her car. But yeah, people like to milk things on TikTok, and that's why I'm saying it is one of those where, if the story is true, if everything in that story is true, then yeah, she's a small, petty little person, and deserves to be ridiculed endlessly. For that one, because that is just ridiculously stupid, in my opinion. But more than likely, because it's the internet, more than likely it's a lie. More than likely it's just her, going out for clout and all that stuff. Anyways, Roy, how are things going? How are you doing? Yeah, I 100% agree. And let me tell you, if my wife was in line behind her, she would have gotten that pregnant woman strength, freaking would have picked up the car with one hand, threw it across the highway like the Hulk, and just would get out of the way, I need my coffee. And I'm shocked with all the people in line that somebody didn't just Hulk smash the car out of the way. Because I tell you what, it's one of those, you don't mess with people and their coffee kind of thing. And I'm shocked, and that's what makes me kind of think that nah, this isn't real. This something about this just isn't jiving, kind of thing. Because there would have been somebody in line that would have either gone out to help, or would have done something, and would have seen that she was doing something that was out of the ordinary, kind of thing. So yeah, I call BS personally, but if it's real, then all my previous comments and statements are how I feel about the situation. Jody says, that is a really crazy story. Yeah, it is. It is. And it's just like I said, you could tell just based on the smug look that she had on her face, that this pure, entitled look that she had of, like, I'm the hero of my own world, kind of thing, and I'm doing this virtuous thing to stick it to this huge mega corporation, kind of thing. And it's like, you did nothing but likely ruin every single worker's day. Every single worker that was there, you probably ended up ruining their day. It's not like they got to just stop what they were doing and get to play on TikTok or watch YouTube or play on their phone or go outside and run around and play. They didn't get to do all that. At bare minimum, they switched their tasks to then prioritize people inside, and then for those who were may have been sticking around, it's not like they were just standing around doing nothing. They were sitting there cleaning, they were sitting there prepping for that afternoon. Like, that's why I said it's like this person has never worked in this industry, has no idea the amount of stuff that needs to be done besides just the serving of the coffee, or in a restaurant besides the serving of the food, or whatever. There's so many things that happens in the background that most people are just completely oblivious to. I've worked in like pizza delivery. I've worked inside and delivery itself. I've worked in sandwich making. I've done so many different jobs, and I can tell you that the actual food that you are presented, the product that you are presented, is maybe 1/10 of the final effort and work that is put in to you having your product. So it's one of those that, if that was a reel, and if that leads to inspiring other people to do that, don't do it. Do not. Let me repeat this. Don't do it. It is stupid, and you are going to harm people that you think you're helping. Do not do it. And here's the thing too. Here and there's a deeper aspect to this. You might be committing a crime by doing that. A pretty big one. Depending on the state that you're doing it in, they might be more than willing to prosecute you for it. You know, you might be getting like, because it's a drive-through line and you're not allowing people to move about freely in their day. And this is not legal advice. This is not anything like this. This is me speculating. I'm not saying that this is the case 100% or not. I'm just saying that you might wind up on a false imprisonment kind of scenario, because you're not allowing people in the line behind you to be able to freely move about and go about their day. I don't know if that's the case. I'm just throwing that out there. Whoops. Reverse. So one of those that, yeah, don't be stupid. Don't think that you know better than the business people, and don't think that you're going to be there 24/7, 7 days a week to monitor and to make sure that you're getting the outcome that you expect you're getting. You know, don't be so naive to think that you're going to be the end all be all kind of thing. And what's going to be better than you going out there and, you know, spending an hour of your time and doing something like that? Rather than do that, how about this? Here's the idea. You ready for this one? This is the big brain take right here. You ready? Here it comes. Shh. Go and buy a cup of coffee, and then the person that hands that coffee to you, you ready for this? Ready? Here it comes. Give them a tip. Give them $10. Give them $20. Affect their day and say, hey, I think that you deserve this because I think you work really hard. I think that you are, you know, deserving of this. I appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope that this helps in you having that day. I hope this helps your holidays. I hope this brings you a little bit closer to a gift that you might want to get for somebody. How about that? How about you do something positive with your life instead of acting like a small child? Pull your head out of your rear and do something productive with your life. Anyways. Whew. Rant over. I guess I saw that a couple of days ago, and it got me so fired up because it's like people don't understand how life actually works, and they want to take things in a vacuum and think that what they're doing is virtuous or is going to help in some way. And really, oftentimes, what they're doing is hurting so many people. And like I said, if you saw the look on this person's face, if you saw the smug, the condescending look on this person's face, you'd understand why I'm so fired up over it. Like I said, as being somebody who's been in this industry, who used to be in this industry for years, I spent pretty much my entire teenage life, since I was like, not my entire teenage life, that's not right. I mean, since I was 16, I've been working in these kind of industries. I used to work for Target way back in the day, way back when that was my first job. Was working for Target. I used to work for pizza companies. I used to work for sandwich making companies. Like all these different places. I've worked in the hospitality industry for years. And I would be furious if I was the person who's dependent on what little pay that I got. And then all of a sudden I'm being told I have to go home because somebody, broke down in the parking, in the drive-thru, or, and come to find out that it was all in an effort to try and quote unquote help. It just, honestly, what really got me really fired up about it is I have family that for years, that's what they did. What the? Why didn't that go through? Well, I guess it doesn't want me to start the worker right there. That's fine. I have family that's been in this kind of industry, this hospitality industry, for years, and I hear stories like this from them all the time, just little silly stories of either people just being rude or just whatever the case may be, things like this. And it's mind-boggling to me to think that there are people out there who think that this is a good thing, that this person thought, whether it's a story. And here's the thing, let's just say it is a story, let's just say it's just her blowing smoke kind of thing. Who's to say that story isn't going to get to one person out there, and then all of a sudden they're actually going to do it? They aren't actually going to do it. And like I said, it might be something where they do it poorly. They do it wrong. And they anger the wrong person in line kind of thing. And they find out that, hey, they're just messing around. Or let's say it doesn't go to that extreme. Let's say it's just, one person who had just 5 minutes of extra time and they're trying to get that one cup of coffee before they have to go into their daily grind. Well, now you ruined their day. You don't think of the other people that what you're doing is affecting. You're only thinking of yourself and your selfish actions. And you sit there and think, oh, well, gee, this in my mind is going to help people, so therefore I'm going to do it. And never mind the probably dozens, if not more, who were negatively affected. Not just the workers, not just the people in the drive-thru, but everyone downstream from them. And I forgot I left that there. Anyways, let's catch up with the chat real quick. Let's figure out what everyone's saying and go from there. All right. Do, 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 do. Okay, Roy says, "Good, thanks yourself." Doing really good. I've had a really good couple of days. Like I said, it may sound like I'm really angry and really like having a bad time at it right now, but that's definitely not the case. Like I said, there's just a couple of things that just kind of came up that kind of, uh, I don't want to say got me. I mean, yeah, it got me fired up. It got me fired up in something I wanted to talk about because I don't have the largest platform out there kind of thing, but if even one person that has seen what this person posted, or if one person, out there listens to anything I've said here tonight, and takes something positive away from it, then I'm happy. I'm happy about that. Because like I said, when it came to the road rage driver and my wife earlier that we were discussing, when it came to this smug little woman, um, who thought that she was doing such good deeds to the world kind of thing. Like if anybody saw that, saw those clips and were inspired, and then heard my counter argument to it, and be like, oh, you know what, he raises a good point. Well, then, hey, that's cool. That's cool. But like I said, not that I'm upset, and not that I'm having a bad day or anything like that. That's anything further from the truth. I've had an amazing couple of days. Christmas is just yesterday, so it was fantastic hanging out with the wife and kid, hanging out with my father. Just great times all the way around. So, like I said, one of those that might sound like I'm all jacked up and fired up, but nah, couldn't be any farther from the truth, kind of thing. Let's see. Let's get around the corner here so we don't get plowed into by the harvester, and then we'll continue to read what everyone's saying. Oh, come on, gotta hurry. Oh, guess we don't have to hurry. Okay, let's catch up. Let's see. We got. I would have been really mad being in line for an hour. Yes, 100%. Roy says, I worked at a gas station, and a guy who didn't agree with the policy of pay first said he wouldn't move his car and cause issues. A few guys pushed his car out of the way. Yes. Yes, 100%. Yes, I am 100% on board with those kind of tactics. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what your personal grievance is against a policy, against a store, against a company, whatever the case is. It doesn't matter, because ultimately, the people in the store are not setting the policy. Like, I worked at a gas station as well, and I worked there for about 2 years. And yeah, I had very similar things, and it was right at that exact era where credit cards at the pumps were becoming very, very popular. Like, it was becoming mandated, and reverse, brakes. This tractor, specifically this trailer, does not brake, and I completely spaced out as to, being on the field that I could have taken back to the farm. But no, I would have similar things. People would throw hissy fits over having to, pay at the pump, or pay before you actually got your fuel. And it's like, look, I get in trouble if somebody drives off with a full tank of gas, kind of thing. And that happened to me. Like, once. And it was one of those, like, the manager told me, look, if somebody sits there and throws a fit or whatever, you can authorize them and you can do this stuff, but if for some reason they drive off, it's on you. You then have to pay for it and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, and sure enough, it burned me hard. Somebody filled up, had like, I think it was like $40, and at the time I was making the state's minimum wage, which was like $7 and some odd cents an hour kind of thing. So $40 was kind of a big deal, for somebody who was working part-time at a gas station when he was 18 kind of thing. So they ended up taking off and costing me, a good chunk of money kind of thing. I need to decide where I'm going to put this. Am I putting this in the feeder, or am I putting this in the straw bedding? Straw bedding has 198,000. This has... Oof. I need to get more hay and silage in here. Eee. I might do that real fast. Straw 198,000. Oh no, that's the inside straw. Let's put it inside. We're gonna put it inside. So yeah, I mean, I understand that there's things that happen where you get frustrated, but taking it out on the people inside, or whatever, you're not doing them any favors. You're not doing yourself any favors, because all you're doing is making yourself look like a jerk. And you're not going to get the outcome that you want, kind of thing. In the end, it's just going to end up, making the person who has to deal with you, and it's going to make their day miserable. It's, because they already have to deal with enough garbage as it is, without having to deal with things that, are upsetting you, kind of thing. Just deal with it. Just deal with it, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is making somebody else's life miserable. Like, here's the thing, if you got like a genuine grievance, like you've actually been wronged for something, then yeah, you should try and do whatever you can to try and make yourself whole again. That's different. But not agreeing with a policy, or not sitting there and just like this person did, just virtue signal to try and make herself out to be this hero, it's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Let's see. Roy also said, got annoyed rolled the car onto onto its roof. Oh my goodness. With him. No. Oh my goodness. J Meister says, hey Roy, and hey BDD. Hey J Meister, how's it going? How are you? I'm sorry, that one really I stopped reading at the absolute wrong time, Roy, and I apologize for that one. Holy cow, like there was a whole climax to that story that I completely missed out on. Holy cow. Roy says, hey J Meister. Jody says, I used to work at McDonald's one time. Yeah, and it's amazing. Like I said, I had family, and they bounced around from fast food joint to fast food joint to like McDonald's, Taco Bell, so on and so forth. They worked at pretty much every one of the big fast food joints, and they told me stories that would just make your skin crawl of just how petty people can be about things that they think are like genuine grievances, when in reality they're not. Like, you know what, here's a good story. Here's a real good one from personal experience. Like I said, when I was 16, I used to work at a Target. And give me a Bible, I will put my hand on top of it, and like, I swear to this story being true. Well, at the Target I worked at, there was an aisle. I was a cashier. There was an aisle where there was a pillar right in the middle of the lanes. So it was aisle 9. To this day, I am 40 years old. This was back when I was 16 years old, but I remember this aisle. I remember this incident because it was that ridiculous to me. So what had happened was this pillar was right in the middle of the aisle, and the aisle was only big enough to allow shopping carts through by themselves on one side of the aisle. It was not large enough on both sides to allow a shopping cart through. Well, this woman decided to come into the store, and the way that the carts were designed back when I worked there, they were, very proprietary. Like Target has their own kind of, design when it comes to shopping carts. Well, they really didn't do well with like the baby car seats back in those days. So I would see this quite often. People who brought in their children with the car seats, they would turn the car seat sideways, so that instead of the baby facing you, because back in those days the car seats used to have these little latches that specifically went into shopping carts, and specifically like grocery carts where there's the metal frames kind of thing. Well, they would like clip into there so that the baby, like if they started moving around, wiggling, it wouldn't just tip over kind of thing. Those were back in those days. Well, and I think they also had like little bases and stuff that would also they would also clip into, so it was like dual purpose, but they also worked very well for like for shopping carts kind of thing. They were like the perfect size for it. Well, at Target, it wouldn't work like that because the place where the car seat could clip into was too thick. The plastic on the carts was way too thick. So people would turn their kids sideways. Well, like I said, the aisle for the checkout at lane number 9 was only wide enough to have the cart go through. Well, if you have your kid in there and they're turned sideways, you now made the cart wider than what it was originally intended to handle. Well, this person, not paying any attention, comes to my lane, comes to check out, and all of a sudden, pow, crashes into this pillar as she's not paying attention, and the baby flips out of the cart. Thankfully, she caught the baby. Nothing was wrong with the baby, and she was mad. And I look, as a father nowadays, I understand being mad at the situation. I understand being worked up and upset. But all that to say but, and buts negate sentences. But she starts screaming at me. Just starts yelling and screaming at me. And like, she is at this point like just beyond hysterics, like screaming at the top of her lungs. And at that point, I had a really bad day. It was just one of those, it was a really long, tough day kind of thing. And in as calm of a voice as I could muster, I looked at her and I said, "Ma'am, I am very genuinely sorry, but when I designed this building, that pillar wasn't there. I got overruled at the final design meeting." And she looked at me and she was ready to spit fire. And she knew like I was just having a jab at her. Like I had nothing to do with this pillar being there. But she's yelling at me as if I built the building, as I put that there, and I just threw the pillar right in front of her just to ruin her day and to potentially endanger her child kind of thing. Like that's how she's just talking to me and treating me kind of thing. And now that I'm older, I do regret and feel bad that I had that kind of reaction, that it was just a young man's reaction kind of thing. And now that I'm older, I wish I would have kind of, took the high road and not kind of dropped down to her level. And when everything was said and done, the manager took me aside and whatnot, pulled me into the office, and they're like, "Look, I understand why you said the thing that you said. You can't say that. You can't do that." And he pulled me aside. And he's like, "Look, I think what you said was really funny. Personally, I think it's funny, but you're getting written up for it. You shouldn't have said that," kind of thing. And I told him, it's like, "Look, I get it. I 100% get it, and I will 100%, take that right up." Because, like I said, it was one of those that I said because I was young and stupid, and I was just mad. But I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have had that kind of reaction. Like I said, that was a young man's, that was a boy's reaction. An older me can look back on it and say, yeah, that was a sick burn kind of thing. Still shouldn't have done it. Alright, let's pull this over here, and I will keep picking up the straw and see what everybody's saying before we get going. Let's see. So Jody said, oh no, I read that. Jay Meister says, yeah, you make a really good point because it's the same thing with YouTube streamers hating on other streamers by posting on social media. Yeah, if I'm understanding what you're saying, it's one of those things where I personally don't understand like internet beef or anything like that. Like getting upset with somebody over the internet is just really silly in my book, kind of thing. Oftentimes you don't know the person that you're talking about, or you know, like I said, I'm willing to think that there's multiple scenarios when it came to that woman posting the TikTok kind of thing. Either lying, you know, to have internet clout, or to, you know, or it actually did happen. In which case, I mean, either scenario, I'm willing to, you know, kind of give wiggle room as to what it is. But regardless of any scenario that I can come up with, they're all negative. They're all like, you should not have posted something like that. Because if it didn't happen, you might inspire somebody to do it. If it did happen, you're a petty little child that doesn't understand how the world works. And you need to go out and, you know, touch some grass and get some experience with life to understand how things work. And like I said, certainly hasn't worked in that kind of an industry. And the amount of privilege that she obviously has to be able to waste an hour's worth of time to be able to just, you know, mess around like that, it's just ridiculous. But like you said there, it's just, I don't understand the whole internet beef, or you know, sitting there and getting into arguments with people over the internet kind of thing. It's like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's silly. If you're sitting there and getting into arguments with people on the internet, you need to find something more productive to do. You know, in the amount of time that's being wasted on the argument, the amount of time that you're wasting, I mean, who knows what you could have done that was infinitely more productive. You know, that's why personally I don't understand, you know, platforms like Twitter. Like I have a Twitter account kind of thing, but I use it as a mechanism to deliver news of the channel. You know, hey, we're live. Hey, you know, we're going to be live. Hey, this is releasing. You know, this is released to members. This is whatever. You know, whatever the kind of notification that I'm putting out there, I'm using it as that kind of method. But there are times where I'll go on there and something will come up on my feed and it's just people bickering and arguing over things that are just silly. 99% of the time it's just silly, because you having an argument with random Joe Schmo on the internet isn't going to change anything. Isn't going to do nothing. And if anything, it's just going to, you know, make you feel worse and miserable about whatever it is that you're getting into it with. You know, and the sad reality is, in the world of, you know, that we're living in right now, all the division that's out there in the world right now, you know, there needs to be a way to be able to try and bring people together, and you know, to try and, you know, make bonds rather than to break them. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But give me just 1 second. I'm going to put everybody on hold for just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Was wishing the missus good night and saying good night to Bean. Let's see. So, I minimized that. There we go. Oh, hey, we missed a little bit there. Anywho, let's get on to more positive topics. You know, like I said, we had Christmas not too long ago. Like I said, I hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas. We've got New Year's coming up. Anybody out there got any good New Year's resolutions that they're going to be working on this year? Now I'll go ahead and start. I've got, I mean, it's the stereotypical one. You know, you got trying to be healthy, trying to be healthier kind of thing. So it's just one of those that, you know, I've got my wife, my daughters right now. You know, got the one out here in the world already and one brewing kind of thing. And I want to be healthier so I can, you know, make sure that I'm around for a good long time for them. So that's kind of the motivation behind it, and really just want to just do better kind of thing. With the holidays kind of, you know, wrapping up and coming to a close, um, you know, wasn't the absolute healthiest. I mean, as this time tends to bring out, you know, you get all the good food and family and all that stuff. So there we go. Got a good amount of hay in there. So I'm sorry, of straw in there so far. Let's see, we've got 70,000 liters of hay. We've got a little over 88,000 liters of silage. So yeah, that's doing all right. Oh wow, 180,000 liters worth of TMR. So we're doing pretty good. I need to pay attention as to how much product we're actually using here, because one of those, if we're not using a whole ton per month, then I might just be overfilling this and kind of wasting product, and I could be using it in other capacities. And I tell you what, we are really producing. We got what 4,000 liters of manure so far. We got how much slurry was it? 5,000 liters of slurry and almost 1,000 liters of milk already. Wow, wow. Oh, and you know what? Let's check out the chickens real quick. That here, we'll stop here. What are the chickens up to? I think it's over here. Oh wow. Let's see. 146 eggs already? Okay. Okay. I'm feeling you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I tell you what, Roy, that's one of the things I absolutely love about this map is the high volumes of animals that you can have and just how fast you can produce. Like, I've had sheep for a few months now, and I've already got like, what is that, 13,000 liters of wool just kind of squirreled away in here right now. It's like I get in one pallet a month, one whole 1,000-liter pallet a month. It's ridiculous the amount of product that you can kind of spin up and do. It's really, really awesome. You know, and this is actually like the most amount of animals I've ever had at any given point in any of my Let's Plays or personal plays kind of thing. Because I normally just do a trailer load at a time. I normally don't just buy them straight in the pen kind of thing. And then after the first load, or, you know, maybe 2 or 3 loads, I'm like, you know, I'm done, you know, running back and forth from the animal dealer. I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, call it from there kind of thing. You know, I don't need all this, and I can just wait until they reproduce. But you know, when it comes to the Let's Play series, they only go on for so long, so you don't often get lots of reproduction opportunities kind of thing. You know, I mean, depending on the animals. I mean, if you're talking chickens, they reproduce pretty quickly. Sheep, same thing. They reproduce relatively quickly. Um, where? Oh, it's over here. Pop this right here. Turn that off. Nope. Did I skip? Oh, there it is. Skipping around. Let's see. So we've got the rest of this. So, I mean, we're getting tons of product. How much we got? Like I think it was like 180 in the. Oh, yeah, 188. Okay, 188 liters of straw in the biogas. I might go put it. And again, Roy, that is another awesome thing about this map. I absolutely love is the biogas and being able to use straw there. And it just dawned on me. I don't know what I was thinking when I first started doing this. But for some reason, I'm like, oh yeah, silage, that's the way to go. You're getting tons of methane, tons of, tons of product kind of thing. It just dawned on me, like, the better ratio is the straw out of those two products there. You're getting, what was it, like, oh, I need to go empty that. What was it? I mean, you're getting, I don't know, what's the ratio there? I think it was like almost a what is that, 10 to 8, so that's what, 5 to 4, yeah, 5 to 4 ratio here. And then here you're getting what, 8 to 5, so 8 to 5. I'll have to actually do the calculations. I mean, the silage might be edging out just a bit, but I don't know. I need to do the math. I need to do the math. I need to take this out. Where's this going? Wait a minute. What? Where's this going? Oh, the farm productions. Okay. That makes more sense now. I was expecting it to be at the grain mill or something along those lines. All of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, where's that dot at? And where's the exclamation taking me? Well, what's cool is I can just go ahead and deliver it all there at the farm production. That's actually what's really cool. You can deliver it all at the farm production. I should be able to get all the barley back out from as an output kind of thing. That way I can just take it from there and put it into the chickens. And then chickens are going to be, I mean, again, the volume of chickens. I got 500 chickens. Oh, wait. I mean, we're doing better on the capacity than I thought we were. I guess this doesn't hold as much as I thought it would. Maybe the chickens don't eat as much as I thought they did. I don't know. We'll have to... Again, the chickens and the cows are the two animals I got in the last episode, and I have to kind of figure out whether... Blocked by an object. Did I leave the tractor in its way? Was I silly? Oh, nope, not turn there. Don't turn there. There we go, pull in here. Perfect, there we go. Now we're talking. Hey, stop. Those bars. I was actually in one of my previous I think it was the live stream. I was doing a baling contract and it had one of the Anderson bales, bale stackers, and all of a sudden I realized that the hooks that would hold the bales in place were all of a sudden over those pipes, and it was actually like just kind of hitched up there and kind of hanging on kind of thing. It's like, wow, that couldn't have worked out any better, because with it hooked like that, if it just caught the wrong way, or if I was too far back or something, I could have just smacked right into it and just would have sent me rocketing out into orbit or something. Oop, hey. Four-wheel steer. Four-wheel steer is nice until you get above 10 miles an hour. Once you're above 10 miles an hour, it's deadly. All right, we're going to bob and weave and get back to the field. Oh, So I did leave it in the way, but I don't know why he's all the way out here. Oh wait, I guess I do understand why he's way out here. Oh my goodness. There we go. Wait, what? What? I have barley in here? It dumped out the barley in here? Ah, well, let's put that away. I don't want to miss out any of the barley. So at least gonna need one more pass. Didn't I miss some down here? I did. Just that's maybe like 2 or 3 liters. We're okay with missing that. Well, we're gonna have to make like 1 or 2, well, 2 more trips. We're gonna have to go back up to the farm, drop off this barley, and then bring this back, and then pick up the rest of the straw and go from there. Because for some reason, I dumped it out here. I guess I mean, at the end of the day, it's my fault. I should have paid more attention to where I was parking this thing. Guess I can't expect too much from the AI. Because none of us can, I guess. I tell you what, I give the wait, okay. I give the AI a lot of grief sometimes, but I would certainly much rather, be in the position of the AI existing and like where we're at now. The AI exists and it does, it does a job. It doesn't necessarily always do a good job, but it does a job. I would much rather be in that world than having to do everything manually, everything, by hand kind of thing, quote unquote, by hand. Because that would get very, I want to say it would get old, but it would get very time consuming very quickly. The AI, with all of its flaws, it still saves a fair bit of time, and I can't stop. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Oh, and now I'm hitting cars. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, yeah. Like I said, that's the only negative thing that I can say about this trailer. This trailer is awesome. I love it. It's the Trans 70 trailer. It's $35,000. It's 70,000 liter capacity. It's awesome. And it's not a dump trailer. It's an actual push trailer. So that's really nice. But it also has another trick up its sleeve. And I'll show it once we get back to the farm. What I really like about it is that it basically works as an auger wagon. In the sense that you can refill things that, you can refill, bits of equipment. So if I take a look, we'll use this angle, jack this up, and you can see how all this raises up. And as long as you got something that'll fit underneath the tailgate of this trailer, it then, loads into it. It dumps into it like a normal auger wagon would. All right, so let's go here. Oh no, I can't get it out. Oh no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Light bulb. Maybe. Maybe. Yay! Because the production and the silo are so close to each other, the silo will output the barley and basically recognize it as an extension of this. So let's see. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Just to verify. $3,887. 3,887. Nice. Oh, I'm so glad I remembered that. Because now I can take that almost 4,000 liters of barley. Bob and weave, stick and move. Bam. Put that in with the chickens. Look at that. Ah, fantastic. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. Alright, so let's go pick up the rest of the straw. And I might take that to the biogas as just a little bit extra. So I really don't think I need much more in the way of bedding or straw for feed as a padding. I think that's more than enough. I hope it's more than enough. There we go. Do all this. Pop that open. Alright, perfect. Now we're talking. Let's move this here. And there we go. Perfect. Let's see. So once we get all this picked up, we'll collect on the contract. After we collect on the contract, we'll be able to, let me think, be able to get at least one more contract done, I'm thinking. I'm trying to think if I want to take this to the biogas plant and render it into methane. I mean, that's... Or if I just want to dump this into the cow barn. I mean, I get... wait a minute. Wait a minute. Another light bulb. Straw. I could be producing... Well, it's one horse and it doesn't produce that much manure. Is it going to be worth the price? Is it going to be worth the price of installing a manure extension? And no. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take it to the biogas plant. I think I'm going to make way more money getting the methane than having one more source of manure. Yeah, because this way I can just turn it right to methane. Methane's paying out really good. I mean, manure, I'm basically going to be putting this in there to make manure to have it go to the biogas anyways. So, I mean... But I'm producing tons of manure and slurry over at the cow barn. So I really don't need to worry about that. I don't need to worry as another source of manure. No, that's okay. We're definitely gonna skip and we're gonna go right to the biogas plant. That's fine. I think that's gonna be better than the other two options. Actually, while I'm thinking of it, there we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, we'll accept another contract, but which one? There we go. Pull in there. Drop this off real quick. There we go. So that leaves us now. Nope, that's at the farm. 206,000 liters of straw. So yeah, we're doing all right. I think we're doing pretty good actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some calculations because I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm still producing product and I'm still able to sell it off and do stuff with it. So it really doesn't matter what's producing what. It's just, are we making money? What? Why did I teleport here? Oh, because I was looking at the biogas plant and hit the X button. Oh, okay. So we saved and finished that contract. Let's go and take a look. What contracts we got now? Oats, canola. We really got oats and canola. Neither one of those I really need. And I could use oats because I could put them in the in the horse pasture, or I could just do a quick tedding. This is something that really kind of blows me away. Is I noticed this the last time I was on here, that it's providing bits of equipment that I'm not used to seeing for contracts, like that quick baler that it's providing right there. That one is awesome. I love that because the quick baler just makes such quick work of everything, hence the name. But yeah, it's not often that I see that it provides that sorts of equipment. So I do like that. See, there's another one with the quick baler. Anyways, let's go ahead and yeah, we'll do this one. We'll do a bit of tedding. Let's take this back to the farm. And what I might end up doing, because my farm production can accept bales, I think that's what I'll do. I'll make the hay, and whatever overage that I have, I'll go ahead and take back to the farm. I'll put it into that production site because, I mean, might as well at this point. Just go ahead and just keep padding my stuff there. Gonna have to look into getting some more silage here soon. And you know what? I should be able to mow my fields here. Maybe right now, as a matter of fact. Just dawned on me that I might be in the harvest month. Not going to be doing that tonight, but certainly going to be, looking into that into the future. Because we still have several contracts, so maybe we'll do another live stream here, maybe tomorrow or so I don't think we're getting any updates from Giants over the next week and a half because of Christmas and New Year. So there shouldn't be anything like map updates or anything along those lines. We should be able to just kind of, have a relatively easy schedule going forward. Not that I should say easy, but a straightforward is probably the better word to use. Because the way that I operate on this channel is I basically wait to see what is being produced by Giants on any given day. So what I'll do is I'll go out on the mod hub and see, okay, is there a map update or is there a map tour that needs to be done? If yes, then those take priority. If no, then I can kind of default to either the Let's Play or a live stream that's, an extension of the Let's Play. But without there being any kind of updates or anything like that over the next 2 weeks from Giants, that means that we should be pretty good to go when it comes to either Let's Plays or live streams. It should be, relatively easy to decide kind of thing. And, as long as I have time to do it, then we're going to do it. Let's do this. Ooh, 52. Okay. I'm familiar with that field. I know where to go. Let's do this. So this is over behind the one farm that's off to the northwest. Let's see. So just gotta drive out there real quick. Hey, look at the screen. There we go. Sorry, I was just checking something in the background real quick just to see, and all of a sudden it dawned on me that, hey, I'm driving somewhere. Should pay attention to the road. Like, I've said this many times. If I drove in real life the same way I drove in this game, oof, it would be... I would have a very expensive lifestyle. Let's put it that way. That's, you know what? I like that. I would have a very expensive lifestyle. I tend to be a very kind of down-to-earth individual. I don't have, expensive tastes. There's certain things I'll put a little bit extra money into kind of thing, just to have that kind of extra level of convenience, or, because it might be a superior product or whatever. But I'm not like going to spend money just to spend money kind of thing. And shoot, where was I going with that? It's getting late. It is getting late. I realize it's almost midnight right now, and that massive brain fart right there just is evidence of the lateness. Let's see, so the field, like I said, it's tucked behind this farm coming up here on my left. Oh, I've got a bale out there. I keep forgetting about that. I got one lone square bale tucked right out there. It's a little hay bale. I need to come by and grab it. I need to get my my little truck. You know what? Before the end of the episode, live stream, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get that bale. Let's see. Back here. There it is. Perfect. Ooh, you know what? Just dawned on me. This would be a good opportunity for me to go ahead and give a shout out to the channel members. So, want to give a shout out to my Tier 2 channel members. Mark K, thank you so much for being a Tier 2 member. I greatly appreciate it. If you are interested in becoming a member to the channel, go ahead and check out the join button at the should be at the bottom of the screen there, just below where the video is playing, or looking at the description below, there should be a link directly to the join section of the member or the page there, and you can gain access to things such as early access to edited content, specifically the Let's Play series, as well as any of the shorts that we do for the channel. You also get things such as custom emojis, custom badges, and you also, for Tier 2s, get the shout out at every single live stream that we do here. So that is it. And to be a Tier 1 member, it starts at 99 cents a month. To be a Tier 2 member, it is $4.99 a month. And we set it up specifically so that it's not like a exclusive club. It is specifically meant to be a means of showing support. If you are kind enough and generous enough that you really enjoy what you're seeing here on this channel, you know, it certainly goes to help out for the sustainability and the longevity of same word, different or different words, same meaning. The sustainability and the growth of the channel. That's what I was looking for. So one of those, it is greatly appreciated if you can. If not, I completely understand. It is certainly not a requirement for the channel. You'll still get the, you know, entertainment that you get here tonight, as well as the other content that is available for the channel. But I also want to give a huge shout out to all my subscribers. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all so much. We are continuing to grow at a really good pace. I am really pleased with how well this channel continues to do. It's amazing, just flat out amazing. We're over 1,150 subscribers. I think it's 1,156 the last I checked. It was shortly before this stream here, and yeah, it's just fantastic. Absolutely love it. And yeah, like I said, just greatly appreciate every single person out there that that shows up to the live streams, that subscribes to the channel. Y'all are awesome. Just thank you all so much. So now we're just gonna go ahead and finish up with the mowing here, and then I'm going to go back to my farm. I'm going to get my little tractor with the front end loader. You know what? Jody said it earlier, and I'm going to do it now. Fast farm, or in this case, fast mowing. That is the one awesome thing about this specific set of equipment, is that regardless of what platform you're on, you can fast farm with it. And for those who are not aware of this little trick, when you have the Chrome Big M here, all you have to do is press your left bumper and double tap. In the case of Xbox, it's the A button. As you can see, I'm going 27 miles an hour. Just double tap it super fast, and it raises up just enough to where it doesn't recognize that it's working speed, but it continues to mow the grass. But again, on the Xbox, it's the A button. On on PlayStation, I think it's the A button on Xbox. I think it's the X button on PlayStation. It's the one directly at the bottom of the right button of the, what is it, the circle, X, triangle, and square. I think it's the X, if I'm remembering my button combinations properly for the PlayStation. Oh, and I missed that little chunk. And just bloop, whiffed right past it. Ah, no! There we go. I tell you what, though, I do love the Chrome Big M specifically for that. So not only is it a self-propelled machine, you can fast farm with it, you can swath with it. I mean, just, it's got one of the wider cutting widths. Extremely maneuverable. Let's see, so we're gonna do this right here. Perfect. That way, if we weren't straight, we're gonna catch everything regardless of what side it's on. Now let's head, let's see, we need the, I forgot we're doing hay. We are not just able to grab the baler and whip it into, well, no. Where's this going? It is. And this is hay, right? It is hay. Ooh, I can do that. I don't need you. Go away, No. Go away, Tedder. You bother me. Shoot fly, don't bother me. Ooh, and I've got silage additive here. I can get the bonus. There we go. And boop, boop. So, how far am I out of the loop with this particular baler? Somebody please inform me of this. I had no idea the increased capacities of this baler. I used this the other day and I was getting like 50,000 liter bales. Where was I? Where was I when this happened? I had no idea that they increased the capacities on this baler. Had no clue. I was so thrown for a loop because I'm just sitting there driving around. It's like, I don't recall seeing it pop out of baler. I'm just kind of in my own little world, just doing my own little thing. And I'm just like, oh, do-do-do-do. And it's like, I should have gotten a bale by now. Do-do-do-do. I'm not paying attention to the capacity down at the bottom. Do-do-do-do. And all of a sudden, I look down like, I'm at 43,000 liters and what's going on? Like I literally had like a moment of like, what is going on here? Like it just kind of really caught me off guard. And then it dawned on me like, wait a minute, they adjusted it. They had to have adjusted the capacities because on the biggest bale setting here, 180 centimeters there, it's like 50,000 liters for grass. And it just completely blew my mind. It's the same diameter. It's like the same size visually. It's just, the bigger capacity. And I was just floored, just absolutely floored with the with that. And when it finally dawned on me what was happening. So like I said, if you know exactly when this happened, when this took place, please let me know in the comments because I had no clue. Let's see. Let's drop that. Open this. I forgot. I could have brought the trailer. Oh. I'm silly. I'm a silly man. Time to do the drive of shame. Head down and... Okay. It's okay. We'll take a deep breath. Woosah. Name that movie. Go ahead. Anybody in the audience tonight, go ahead and name that movie. Woosah. Was a pretty popular movie back in the early 2010s, maybe? I think? I could be getting the time frame wrong, but again, it was a very popular movie. I'll even throw in a hint. It is a part of a sequel. Actually, it's part of a trilogy? I think it's part of a trilogy. No, I don't think I've seen the third of the series. I know I've seen 1 and 2. Oh, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Come on, catch up, catch up. There we go. One of those I was just half expecting for. Ow, ow, ow. Rude. Ay, ay, ay. Gotta love it. Got to love it. I mean, there's certainly been worse things that have happened to me. For anybody who follows along with the channel, I created a short not too long ago from the Hills of Tuscany series where I'd actually had a worker driving my piece of equipment from one location to another. And when I'd walked away because I had to go and do something really fast. I'd walked away, and when I came back, I was upside down and maybe about 20 feet away from where I originally started from. So I was insanely confused, and it wasn't until I played back the video, because thankfully I recorded it, when I realized what had happened. And because of all the errors and all the issues that we were having on Hills of Tuscany, this one was just icing on the cake. But the worker was going from the location I had started at the starting farm, and it was going all the way out to the I think it was going to the shop is where I was sending it to. But it started to make a turn, but another car that was in part of the traffic spline started going as well, and then all of a sudden they just tapped, just a little tap. It wasn't like anything ridiculous or out of control, but it sent my tractor just careening across the entire map, because it was, I don't know, in relative terms it probably would have been a few miles down the road from where I started, and it just sent my tractor and whatever bit of equipment I had. I think I had a trailer as well. It might have just been the tractor. It just sent it into orbit. It was just flying across the screen. So I was just minding my own business, doing my own thing. I was just having the worker take me to, like I said, one place to another. And then I came back and I was on my side and maybe a few feet away from where I started. So it was just so wildly confused. And when I played that back, I tell you what, I was just rolling. I was just laughing so ridiculously hard. Because it was, like I said, it was one of a million different issues I was having with that map. And that one was just the kind of the cherry on that particular Sunday. I was just dying with laughter. And yeah, when I just rolled that footage back, and I'm just sitting there laughing hysterically. My wife hears me laughing, and she's like, "What is going on in there? Why are you laughing so hard?" I'm like, "You need to see this." And it was one of those. I used it to create a clip, and I showed her before posting it, and she's like, "Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good." Kind of thing. So she got a big kick out of it, and her not being a huge follower of either the channel or the content kind of thing, it was pretty funny when she even got a kick out of it as well. Now there we go, and operating position. I want to get that little chunk of hay right there. Nope, maybe not. Okay, so we're just gonna make our way around. Oh, look at that. I love this baler. Yeah, I mean, look at the capacity. We're already up to 11,000, 12,000. And because we've got the silage additive, we're getting that, I think it's like a 5% bonus to the bale creation. And being able to hook up at the same time with the equipment here with the trailer, like just do everything all in one pass. Oh no. I need to eject the trailer because it just dawned on me. I'm going to be wrapping these bales, but because it's a contract that's not associated to bale, they shouldn't auto-convert. I mean, it doesn't matter if it does. It really doesn't matter. I can either put it in as grass and convert it to hay and silage on my own, or I want to get this bit in the corner here. There we go. Convert to hay and silage on my own, or I can just, you know, kind of go from there. I don't have to be all worried about what it's going to do here. I do like the, although I'm not personally a fan of John Deere. Like I'm not a fan of John Deere because of, like I mentioned this before, but the right to work on, you know, your equipment and stuff like that. John Deere, you know, kind of going and making it impossible for the farmers to be able to work on their equipment. That kind of bothers me. It just seems greedy. But I've always loved the colors. I've always loved the John Deere, you know, green and yellow colors. It's just iconic. And seeing the bales and whatnot, and there we go. Just seeing the bales and all that, just, yeah, kind of hits that little soft spot that I do have for John Deere's. I do like the look of them. They're absolutely iconic. I was able to pick it up. Okay, well, is what it is. No, there's a little chunk right there. Why? Chunks equal money. Was it Jody? Was it you, Jody, that we worked it out that chunks equal money? I can't remember who it was. I'm leaning towards Jody is saying that one. There we go. All right, now let's. All right, there we go. One of those that my nature as to wanting to make sure that all the available product is, you know, accounted for, makes it really hard to ignore those little patches that don't get done by the worker or whatever. So the equipment's relatively nearby. I'll you know, work on it. I'll make sure that it gets all done. But one of those, if it's just like 1 or 2 extra liters, then it's not really worth it, quote unquote, to me. Kind of like what we did in the last contract. But like I was saying earlier, Roy, if excuse me. Oh, there's more. Chunks is money. Chunks is money. I want to say that was Jody. I'm leaning towards Jody. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm more than willing to take it back, but let's see, drop that down. And there we go. Get out. Well, thankfully we got a wide pickup on this. Ooh, this is gonna be close. Smash. So you figure those 2 bales right there is 100,000 liters of product, just right there. I mean that's ridiculous. And like I said, I love that we're getting that little, I think it's 5% bonus for the silage additive. And you wouldn't think that it's that big of a deal, but when you've got fields like this that are this large, you got 100,000 liter worth of product right there. That 5% adds up, and it adds up quick. And with the mod that I have that gives you the kind of liquid barrels of silage additive, it's actually not that expensive. Um, Let me think. What mod is that? Pellets. Oh, this one. The liquid barrels. Yeah, this one here. And you can get the silage additive for $4,400 for 1,500 liters. I mean, it's expensive, but you get a good amount. It's at a discounted rate compared to like the pallets. Um, yeah, it works out rather nicely. And 150,000 liters. Oh, 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 oh. Come on. There's that, what is it, Fast and the Furious movie, the Tokyo Drift. Well, we got the tractor drift. Oh, I'm surprised nobody has thrown in the answer in the chat there for the Wusa, the movie that I'm referring to. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it because nobody shouted it out. Bad Boys 2. Like I said, I might have been wrong as to the rough estimation of when that movie came out, but yeah, Bad Boys 2 with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, and specifically with Martin Lawrence going into like the therapy sessions and the whole calming technique of woo-san, rubbing the ears, little pressure points. The funny movie. I will say though that the first movie for the most part was very kind of, I mean, it was kind of comedy-esque, not hugely though, but the second one I felt like was really kind of over the top and like trying to be kind of that punchy kind of comedy, like I don't want to say like slapsticky, but really kind of close to it. Between like Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, I don't know. It just seemed like the first one was kind of more seriously taken than the second one. The second one was just uh, kind of just, how do I want to say it? I can't find the words that I wanna say because it's one of those. I enjoyed the movie. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was good, but I don't know. It just seemed really kind of not taking itself serious, kind of thing. To where the first one really did seem to take itself more serious than the second. The second one really kind of seemed to kind of go off the rails in the attempt of kind of trying to interlace comedy into, you know, a serious kind of movie. Go. It almost, you know what it is that the first one kind of reminded me of like a actual like cop drama movie for the most part. Again, there was times where it was kind of, taken with a little bit of brevity, but not not as much as I thought the second one did. But the second one, whoa, 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 whoa. The second movie kind of reminded me of the what's that movie called with Eddie Murphy? It was back in, was it the 90s? It was either the 80s or the 90s. It's called Beverly Hills Cop. That's kind of what it reminded me of. The second Bad Boys movie reminded me of that. It's kind of that kind of slapsticky uh, 90s kind of action comedy kind of thing. So it wasn't really an action movie, wasn't really a comedy movie. It was just kind of, something to be in between. And oftentimes I find that when you go for those kind of movies or those kind of values of entertainment, that's where I find where oftentimes neither one of them kind of hit the mark, if that makes sense. Like, you very often try to focus on, one or the other. You don't, it's very rare that you get a movie that can pull off both sets well, kind of thing. I think Beverly Hills Cop did a good job at it. Kind of added, some levity to the kind of whole scene of the. It offered enough comedy and levity to the movie that it was what I thought of a really good, action comedy kind of thing. But at the same time, one of those where um, I don't know. It's just, I guess, long story short, go watch them. Go watch them, and I think you'll understand what I'm getting at here. They're both good movies. Both of them I really enjoyed. Beverly Hills Cop and Bad Boys 2. But I don't know. I think Beverly Hills Cop did it better, kind of thing. Did that kind of action comedy a little bit better than Bad Boys 2. Now, don't get me wrong. Bad Boys 2's got like the far more, far better action scenes than Beverly Hills Cop, but also, sign of the time that it was made. But if you're looking for a good movie, give them a chance. I mean, they're if you haven't seen them before, they're pretty good. Both of them are good. Um, and me, like I said, growing up in the 80s and 90s, uh, Eddie Murphy was all over the place back then, and yeah, I used to really love watching Eddie Murphy growing up. A lot of his movies were really good um, back in the 80s and 90s. Oh, oh, there we go. Got to squeeze through. Then we'll take this back to the farm. I'm fairly certain. Let me see something just real fast. Oh, it did make it into silage. Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, it's fine, but it actually kind of works out a little bit better. But oh man, I didn't know that. So if you have a contract, it doesn't even matter if the contract is. Oh wow, I had no idea. So this is a hay contract. Let me elaborate as to why I'm kind of like in awe right now. I'm working on a hay contract. I'm specifically going out of my way not to do the contract in a way that would normally happen. What I mean by that is to mow, to ted, to bale, to then Pick up the bales and go from there. That's the proper way of making uh, hay bales. But what I ended up doing here was I just took the grass and then baled it. And I had a baler that would actually wrap and turn into silage. Um, but even though this particular contract has nothing to do with silage, it auto converted the grass that was here and put it into silage form. So that's 200,000. Wait, no, 300,000 liters of silage right here in this trailer that I'm getting ready to dump into here. I'm gonna have to take my hay, the 647,000, and then fill it up here and then dump it back into here to complete the contract, kind of thing. So one of those that it's cool to know. I had no idea that this was going to happen. That's cool to find out. It's like an instant way of getting. Yeah, let's see. Look at that. Silage is just up and away. Look at that. That's awesome. That's cool. And now I can. There we go. Perfect. So let's throw this over here for now. Let me go. Let me go. Freedom. Oh, hey, I left that on there. Oops. There we go. Okay. So you need to pick this up. Okay, so now I can take hay and then throw it in here to complete this contract. Now I'm curious as to how much hay it's actually going to take. So this is a 70,000 liter trailer. How many liters is it going to take to complete this contract? It's a 10.26 acres contract. So, You know, I wonder if there's actually like a well-defined formula. I mean, I'm sure it's got to, but whoops. But you figure there's got to be a certain amount of literage per acre that you can expect to have as part of your delivery. So you need to have, let's say, 100 liters per acre kind of thing. And if that's the case, then there would be, what is that, 1,000 liters in this math because it's a 10-acre plot. That's obviously not the case. I'm just there's got to be a defined formula. I just don't know what it is. Let's go ahead and wrap around. Oh. There we go. All right, let's see what 70,000 liters gets us on this contract. And oof, that's gonna take what? 3, just short of 4 full trailer loads. Wow. So you're talking 140,000. 3 trailer loads would be 210,000. You know what? We're gonna do some science. We're gonna math. We're gonna do some math. We're gonna figure this out because if we have 10.26 acres and so far we've delivered, what was it, 39%? So it's gonna take two and a partial trailer fulls. So we'll have to pay attention to how much. Hey, whoa, 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 hey, easy. We're gonna have to pay attention to how much we put in. There we go. So that's 140,000 that we're gonna get rid of right here. So what does this get me? Should be like 79. Oh, 78. Okay, so it's 140,000. Now we need to pay attention as to what we put in here. So we're going to get another full trailer, which this one should complete it. But once we complete it, we should be able to kind of do some rough math. And then we'll be able to know just how much hay you have to deliver per acre that's available on each one of these contracts. That's to me, that's valuable information, because doing what I'm doing here, I can then kind of start to estimate how much I'm going to need per contract based on the acreage that's available. And it should be relatively standard, going across the board, so the ratio should work out, is essentially what I'm getting at here. We'll see how that goes. We'll just finish loading up this last little bit here. And there we go. There we go. Come on. One more time. No, hey, there's stairs and my tractor. I don't want to crush anything. There we go. All right, let's take a look. So about, what is that? So we're at 30, we'll say 30,000 rough math left. So that's 40,000 we put in. So we're talking 70, 140, that's 180,000 liters, give or take. So 180,000 divided by, where is my calculator? 180 divided by 10.26. 17,543.8596. So roughly 17,544 liters per acre. So roughly guessing, this hay contract here, what I would need to deliver in order to complete the contract would be times 2.76. Nope. 48,421. So roughly 40, we'll say 49,000 liters to be able to complete this contract. If it kind of works out ratio to ratio, which I would assume that's how it works. But yeah, that's kind of cool to know. That'll also help, like if you're doing bale work, that actually helps out a ton, because then you'll know exactly, hey, I need to deliver X amount of bales in order to reach that threshold of, per acreage. And then once I have that, be able to have all the leftovers. So you only have to deliver, maybe an extra bale compared to the numbers we're estimating here. I don't know. I'll have to like really
try that out the next time around just to see if it works out the way that I think it's going to work. Here, let's go ahead and nope, wrong. Complete that contract. Perfect. Now, I'm going to grab the front end loader. I'm going to go get that bale, that one rogue bale that's hanging out. And we made 20 grand, almost. That's even after. There we go. I should probably get I should probably grab the weight. I doubt that one bale is going to make the difference and I'm going to, you know, be flopping all over the road kind of thing, but I'd hate to get all the way out there just to have that happen. I mean, and this is technically a small tractor, so it's one of those that it's not heavy. It doesn't carry a lot of weight about itself, so yeah, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Much rather be safe than sorry. So, one extra step, load it up, and kind of head on out there. That's fine by me. Let's see. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy, easy. Alright, so we're going to boogie back out to the contract field. Once we get the contract field all said and done, we'll be able to... Or it's not even the contract field anymore. It's that one neighboring field where the one bale that's been hanging out there and has been taunting me this whole... Whoa! What? Nothing to see here. Just keep moving. These are not the robots you're looking for. Hopefully somebody out there got that reference. If you did, slam it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Alright, so now let's see. Yep, there's that bale. That bale's been haunting me. The worst part about it is that I've only been getting the quick baler here lately as the baling tool. So it's dealing with round bales, and if I'm dealing with round bales, I can't like combine it into a current contract. I have no way to make it. So I had to basically come out here with this set of equipment just to get this one little bale. But it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. I am starting to run low on fuel though. I'm below halfway at this point. There we go. And perfect. There we go. Now we're going to head back to the farm. We're going to plop this in there. 7,250 liters. Just been sitting around mocking me this whole time. But who's got the last laugh now? I do. Yeah. Like I said, it's been one of those... I don't want to say it's been kind of a weird stream. I don't feel it has been, but it's one of those where certainly a lot of range of emotion has hit this stream. Went from kind of fired up, starting out telling the story about my wife and the road rage incident that had happened to her, then moved on to that TikTok that has been haunting me the past couple of days. And all of a sudden we're here, towards the end of the stream, and we're laughing and giggling and kind of thing. But again, that's tends to be my nature. Is as I get later into the evening and get tired kind of setting in. I tend to get a little bit more goofy, a little bit more giggly, and that's okay. It's all good. So we're gonna round the corner right up here. Let's go here and... Oh, and I want to pose a question for anybody out there listening at this time. So, for those who follow the channel on a regular basis, will know that there's mainly 4 types of content that I do. So there's the Let's Play series, the shorts, map updates, and map tours. Those are the basic 4 types of content that this channel mainly contends in. Well, for the map tours, one of the things that I tend to do that not a lot of other people do in this space is render their opinion about a map during their map tours, or not even during their map tours, just at all. There's not a lot of YouTubers out there that'll kind of say, hey, this is the map, go through it, and this is what I think of said map. I'm not saying I'm the only person who does it, it's just I'm one of the few. And I'm thinking about, because the way that it's done right now, it's very much kind of a feeling of the moment kind of thing. And I've been thinking about it a lot here lately, and I'm kicking around the idea of polishing up that portion of the map tours. And what I mean by that is to kind of have a bit more structure in that segment of content. So right now I do kind of a 0 to 5 scale as to how I feel about a given map at any given time, and it's very much a feelings over any sort of establishment kind of thing. So, oh, and that's something I meant to... I keep meaning to check that. Oh, yeah. So there was the patch that I had done over here. And that filled in rather nicely. Let's go check out the horse pasture. That should look pretty sharp, too. But anyways, it's a very much a feelings-driven kind of scoring that I do. And there's no real structure to it. It's just, I tend to look for things that are very appealing to me. Color palettes and the terrain and the production points and things along those lines. And there's certain, factors that can kind of overwrite those things I look for. And make it to where it's a little bit more forgiving. Oh, wow. Okay, so you can see that kind of different texture underneath there, and that's the kind of, what is it? That kind of, not plowed, but when you use the cultivator to seed over a area that's already been established, that kind of texture that's there, you can see that kind of old, the old texture over here compared to the new texture, or not new, but not old versus new, but it's a grass texture versus cultivated seeded texture where there's previously an established. I need to come through here and rip this out and replant this area too, because that's the last little area that's going to bother me. But what I'm hoping is that when I come and mow this area, that this texture underneath is going to change and become more like this. So we'll see how that goes. That's anyways, so I keep bouncing back and forth. So long story short is I'm thinking about becoming a little bit more polished and a little bit more matter of fact when it comes to the opinion section of the map tour. So having like predefined and well-defined kind of rating system. So giving it, if color palette is one of the main things that I decide to do, well, that gets a point. If it's something I like, then it gets a point. If it doesn't get it, then it doesn't get a point, kind of thing. And kind of have a more standardized kind of method in order to render my opinion and have kind of a more defined and well established scoring base. So that way it's a little bit more, I don't want to say science based, but more applicable across the boards. So we're not going to just, say, oh, this map's a 2 or this map's a 5 kind of thing. That's going to happen, but what's the difference is going to be, you'll know that this map is a 2 and why it's a 2, why I say it's a 2, versus, something else along those lines. Oh, wait, I don't have any grass here. I forgot about that. I only have the silage I just put in. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Like I said, let me know in the comments or in the chat here today. I'm kicking it around and thinking that it might be a good thing, because then it gives you a good general baseline as to, oh, well, Dave, you said that Calmsden was a 5, but you also said that this is a 5, and they're nothing alike, kind of thing. Why would you say that this is a 5? It's not like people are hounding me about the scoring or anything like that. It's just something that I've been kicking around for a while, because I think that it would kind of, it would do a better service as to that section of information. I keep running back and forth to check on things, but I keep skipping over the 2 things I need to check: the chickens and the sheep here. So yeah, no, it's just one of those that I think that it will do some good, to kind of universalize and standardize that portion of the tours. I don't know. It's one of those. I'm kicking around the idea, but could be, pulled in any direction, kind of thing. I don't know. It's just, I don't know what I feel about it at the end of the day, because I think it'd be, beneficial, but I don't know to what degree, kind of thing. So, like I said, if you got an opinion and you want it to be known, let me know, because I'd be curious to hear what you all think. But it is now 12:38 Eastern Standard, my time, and yeah, it's getting to be about bedtime. I think it'll be a good time to wrap things up and kind of go from there. But we got a lot accomplished today. I mean, we got 2 harvesting contracts and a baling contract. We ended up getting almost 300,000 liters worth of silage. We got a whole bunch of product now for our chickens. They're going to be, happy and satisfied for a little while, I hope. Not quite sure as to the amount of feed that they're going to go through in a given month. So I'm going to have to pay attention to that. But we are producing a lot of eggs. Holy cow, that's 208 pieces. We were at like 100 and some pieces earlier. Now we're at 2 something. That's moving at a pretty good clip. We got a whole bunch of wool here that we got to figure out something to do with this wool. Got 13,000 liters of wool. We're going to be producing eggs very, very quickly. I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious on how long that's going to take to produce a full pallet here, based on all that. And we're just chugging away at the... Oh, did I exercise my horse? I did not. Let's do that real fast. Let's do that real quick, so that way it's out of the way and I don't have to worry about it. And boop. So yeah, it's just one of those that I think when I'm at a loss for words, I'd then be able to go back to saying, oh well, because of the color palette and the way it doesn't look cartoony. It looks very nice and it looks realistic and all that stuff. I give it a full point kind of thing. Oh, well, you know, it's got tons of colors, you know, dotted around the map. It makes it look very cartoony. Don't really care for that. And you're seeing like every single, you know, thing kind of represented. Well, then I'm going to give it, you know, half a point or no points. Oh, come on. There we go. Now it's all... Now the horse is all clean. Good to go. And let's see. So, yeah, we're almost up to 100% fitness on this. I mean, we're almost green across the board. We really need to get a root crop. Really need to get a root crop. Hopefully, what is it, next month? Yeah, next month is the harvesting months for the root crops. So I'm hoping that we'll have something pop up, be able to be good to go from there. So, but no, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. And like I said, I'm thinking about breaking it down into kind of aesthetics and color palette, kind of, you know, as one category. Having another category, like trying to have 5 separate categories is the way to grade the map, so I can keep that, you know, 0 to 5 scale as I do, but then be able to, you know, have each thing kind of be meaningful to something. So the second one being the terrain and you know, topography kind of thing. Having the next one being oh goodness, I have all this written down and kind of how I think it would kind of play out, kind of thing. So like I said, at the end of the day, I think that it might be something I test and kind of give it a try, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes and kind of, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, if I get some positive feedback, then might lean into that. If I get some negative feedback and don't think that'll be kind of worth either the effort, or don't think that it would kind of lend itself to, you know, being useful to anybody, then, you know, I can certainly write it out, kind of thing. So like I said, let me know in the comments below, let me know in the chat here, and we can go from there. But like I said, it is now 12:45. It is late. It's getting way past my bedtime. But I hope that you enjoyed this stream, and I know I had a absolute blast, as I always do on these streams. I greatly appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out tonight. Like I said, been an absolute ball. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing, that shows you're engaged with the channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care.